Hello everyone, this is Taki'h and welcome to Practice of the Week. Today I want to share with you a practice that deals with re-sensitization. So what does that mean? It means to reclaim the sensitivity at any part of the body, internally or externally. So whether it's on the surface level of the body or internally. So this is something that many of us actually could benefit greatly from. And so I'd like to share with you briefly my story, and it's a very personal and intimate story, and it has to do with the resensitization of my yoni, my vagina. And it's something that many of us in women's bodies face, but not only. In the groups that I have led, I have found that most of those in men's bodies also suffer from the same lack of sensitivity or sensitization in their genitals. But of course, this can be applied to any part of the body. So it's not just genital specific. So my journey with this was that I came from the belief that if I didn't feel something, if I couldn't perceive touch or be sensitive enough to pick up subtleties of touch, then that meant that the touch should be stronger or should be faster. So if I couldn't perceive a light touch, I don't know if you can see that, yeah, you can, just a very light touch, then it should be done more vigorously. So it's a common mindset. It makes sense to the mind, perhaps, that, okay, if I don't feel something, do it harder, do it faster, do it more vigorously. So, yeah, this approach doesn't work. This is not the way we resensitize any part of the body, internally or externally. So, the way I like to describe it is if I had a part here that was numb, because that's what usually is the case, or incredibly sensitive, like painfully sensitive, bruised, yeah, here. If I went at it vigorously, feel, doesn't really make sense that it would work. So what are our options? Well, for any part of the body, internally or externally, you can just, I'm going to demonstrate here. The keys are on my hand. The keys are to approach it with love and presence. So my touch is saying, there's nothing wrong with you. You don't have to be fixed. You're not broken. And the truth is, I don't perceive a sensation here, or the only sensation I can perceive is one of pain. So that doesn't seem to correspond to other areas of my body, internally or externally, where I can perceive more range in sensation, or any sensation at all, in the case of numbness. So presence and love. I'm interested. I'm coming here because I'm interested. I'm interested to know what's happening here. I'm interested to be with this place, with this space in my body, on or in my body. A genuine interest and a loving interest, and nothing has to happen. Nothing has to happen. There's no goal, but there is intention. So there's a different goal is like, I'm gonna get there, and however I'm gonna get there. Versus intention, I hold in my heart a longing, a wish, maybe a dream, that I can feel here again. And it's totally fine to have a heart longing, a heart wish. It's my intention. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And I will not have wasted my time in coming and staying and listening and being present in loving presence with this part of my body over and over and over again. Most of the time, if not always, the reason why we experience a sensitivity and hypersensitivity or a numbness is because there has been some wounding, some injury, some imprint is stored there, memory, emotional or physical, energetic, and there is a protection around that. Something wasn't felt, something wasn't lived, expressed fully, and so there's a protection around that. And so to protect us from feeling whatever that was too much at the time, or just couldn't be processed, for it was not the right moment, or whatever the situation might have been, then we create a barrier around it very intelligently. It's very wise, because if I was hurt and I keep banging, or something comes into contact with this, then yeah, it's going to keep hurting. So then it goes numb, or something, there's a shield. Yeah, there's like an armoring. Something's protecting it. So the idea is not to go in with, I'm going to feel, because whatever is there, protecting it, is there for a good reason. So it's about allowing an opening, allowing that place to reveal what is being stored there. And me coming in with, yeah, I'm ready to listen, I'm ready to feel, I'm ready to come to terms with whatever is there. So this was the case with my exploration in my own yoni. There were plenty of imprints of abuse, and there was lots of numbness, and there was lots of pain. And so at first, not knowing any better, me and my partner did the, do it harder, push, give it all you got. I can't feel anything. Until we became a bit wiser, a lot wiser, and went the exact opposite way, a more gentle and a more in dialogue, in communication with the body approach. So this is to let you know that as you resensitize, you will be meeting with whatever hasn't been lived or expressed fully, that's stored there behind the hypersensitivity or numbness. So just to be aware of that, to be prepared for that. It might come in memories, visions, dreams, nightmares, emotions, however it might come, or just pure physical sensations with no stories or visuals attached to it. Perfectly fine. No need to go into the stories of it. If you can just process the physical sensations and emotions of whatever is coming up in that moment, you don't have to know the why. You can just experience whatever needs to be experienced. So, when you do that, and you are listening, you are cultivating the two different aspects of resensitization. One is my ability, my antenna's ability to pick up sensation, to perceive sensation. So many times we just space out, or we're not really fully present, and so only big things like something drops on me, or something bumps into me, or some very or some very ecstatic moment, or something big, then we can feel that. But the more subtle sensations go unnoticed. So it's about bringing our attention more and more into the present moment, so that we can feel more and more, not feel more and more, but perceive more and more. So that's one aspect of increasing sensitivity. And the other aspect of increasing sensitivity is the area itself, and the unfolding, opening, melting of whatever protection layer, armoring might be there, because of whatever is being held. So those are the two different areas to increase sensitivity. So you can do both of them simultaneously by yourself, or you can also ask a friend, partner, loved one, someone you trust, to be there with you, to support you. Now that doesn't make it their responsibility. It doesn't make it their, it's not up to them that you get somewhere. And also, if it's not a trained professional, you can't expect them to be able to deal with whatever you might go through or experience. So just take that into consideration. Have compassion for whoever is there supporting you, because this is also one of the areas that can create some conflict between friends or lovers, partners, loved ones, or oh, you're not doing it right, or oh, but you're not, whatever. And where they're in fact they're just doing their best and they're a friend or support, but they're not trained in any particular way. So if you do have deep trauma, then I do highly suggest that you do seek a professional, somebody who's trained in de-armoring, somebody you trust, somebody who has experience. So what is it that you can do, or you can do with a friend? Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate here. So coming with loving presence, I already mentioned that. See where you can see it. Yeah, you can see it here. So the touch is soft, but earthly. So it's not etheric, or I'm hardly touching like a feather light touch. It's not that, but it's not a pushing. Yeah, it's not there's no wrinkles or dents happening in matter. Yeah, so I'm not like pushing down on a button. So it's a touch, there's contact. So in any other body part, I'd be able to feel that. It's just like resting your hand somewhere, like just like that, but not, okay, I'm gonna lean on you now. Yeah, so that's the difference. So that kind of touch, earthly, making contact, but not pushing. And then it needs to be slow. Whatever movements happen, they need to be slow so that our perception can zero in and follow it. If it's all over the place and it's real fast, there's no way that we're going to be able to train ourselves to pick up more and more of the subtle sensations. And there's no way that that area can feel safe enough, have enough space, feel the spaciousness of being able to open up. So slow is the second ingredient, quality of touch, slow. And the kind of movements that can support is a caressing kind of movement. Yes, caressing. It's a single touch. It's not like, yeah, it's a single touch. The more focused the area, the better. If we're talking about a larger area, so we're not talking about the genitals anymore, because the genitals you certainly only use one finger at a time. But if we're talking about a larger area, there is numbness, then maybe you can use even 2 fingers, but maximum. So slow and caressing type, or making circles, little spirals. Yeah, little ones. Very slow. Yeah. Or tapping. Just like that. Okay, so these are 3 suggestions of how to touch, or the rhythm of touch, and with these qualities. There's loving presence, it's slow, and there's no goal. Yeah. So 10 minutes, 15, enough, and then back off. Let that be processed. You can, if it is internal, if it is in the genitals, or even if it's not internal, it's on a lingam, on a penis, around the penis, you can start to, if you're working with somebody else is supporting you, or if you're supporting somebody else, you can, at first you just do, and then you see if the other person can perceive. And if they can't, after some time, meaning after some sessions, after some rounds, different days, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, different days, then you go back and you start telling them, because first you give the person, of course, the opportunity to perceive, and when you have somebody else supporting you, then it's easier to distinguish the felt sense from your finger, your own finger, versus that area that is numb or in hypersensitivity. So yeah, there is a difference if somebody else is touching you versus you touching yourself, but it doesn't mean you can't do it by yourself. Certainly you can. And there are also advantages to that. So after maybe, however much of time that you would like to do that on your own, or increase the sensitivity perception for yourself, then the other person, you can transition into a second stage where the other person is letting you know where they're at. So, if it's around a penis, you can say that you're around the head. At the, you can make like a clock and agree where's 12 o'clock, where's 6 o'clock, where's 3 o'clock, where's 9 o'clock, and everything in between. So you have your cardinal points, and then you can say where you are and how up or down. And so then that person, or that also includes inside the yoni, inside the vagina, you can do the same thing, that where am I around the walls? And then that supports you to, okay, I'm going to focus that that's where they are at. Even if I can't pick it up, my antenna isn't picking up this radio wave, but I know that's where they're there because they're telling me they're there. So, okay, you're on my G-spot. Okay. I don't feel anything, but I know I'm going to focus now that I'm connecting to my G-spot. Okay, so this helps in the long run to increase the sensitivity more and more. So this is the approach that you can take any body part, inside or out. And it's a process. It's a long road. For me, my G-spot was absolutely numb, couldn't feel anything. And at the time, I had a partner who was double my size, and he was pushing all the way with his finger and using his other arm to help his first arm. He's like, this is as much as and I'm like, I don't feel anything, I'm broken, oh my God. And yeah, we were basically causing more damage to my already armored, protected place. And then with my cervix, it was the opposite. I was hypersensitive in my cervix. I thought that having a painful cervix was just the way it is, that during intercourse, that the penis, the head of the lingam, should not come to my cervix because of course it's going to hurt, and that's just the way it is for everybody, because that's all I knew. And actually, no, it's not true. And the same thing and so to go through the resensitization, from numbness, usually there comes some pain, because that numbness is protecting that pain. So either one is two sides of the same coin. Numbness or hypersensitivity is the same coin, two different sides. I either feel nothing or I feel too much. Either way, I'm not really feeling what I need, what is there to feel. It's a protective response, a self-defense response. So from numbness, you'll move into pain, most likely, physical pain, perhaps emotional pain, but the body will need to release, even if it's this kind of touch, because from this kind of touch, once my G-spot started to resensitize, I felt like somebody had been like, just pounding painfully in this area, and I could feel in my womb, this whole area. And it was the lightest touch, but from the zzz, like grr, nothing. I wasn't feeling anything. So, okay, be prepared that you will also experience that in that stage, in that process of letting go and reclaiming your natural state of sensitivity and range in sensations, and the ability to perceive the range of sensations. And then for my cervix, from pain, then there came range, not just pain, but the whole range of sensations. So the same thing for the lingam, for the penis, that you'll be surprised that so many areas are numbed or maybe even painful. And so to support him or to support yourself, those who are in men's bodies watching, that you can do the same practice and say, oh, okay, here there's not. So I just stay here and I do those movements for some minutes, and then I can move on to another area and see how it is there. And like that, explore. And it's just with a fascination. There's nothing wrong or broken in me, and who knows where this will go. But I'm here to listen, and I'm here to be with myself until, hopefully, with a deep wish in my heart, that I can regain my natural state. And it is absolutely 100% possible. So that's my take-home message for you. I'd love to hear from you how this practice supports you, whatever body part you may apply it to. Blessings on your journey.